which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Where's the appropriate meeting notice?
Meeting notices were posted on Friday, July 12th at the library, the city hall, the post office, and the website.
You, council acceptance of the agenda.
Motion to accept?
Motion and a second to accept the agenda. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. Personal appearances. Sit down. Nobody in the audience, so we'll go on to the minutes from July 1st.
Make a motion to approve the minutes.
I second.
Motion and a second to approve the July 1st minutes. Any corrections or additions? Hearing none, all those in favor, signify by saying aye. Opposed, carried. Committee reports, finance, Tim.
Finance met earlier today. I'll make a motion to approve bills and payroll in the amount of $255,652.37.
I'll second that.
Motion and a second to pay the bills. Any questions on the bills? Hearing none, roll call.
Shaw,
Yes.
Kribel,
Yes.
Chrisanti,
Yes.
Candy Davis.
Yes.
Paul Davis.
Yeah.
Burdick.
Motion passes.
I'll make a motion to fund additional funding for code enforcement in the amount of $5,000 to MCE. With that coming out of the surplus from the police patrol wages.
I'll second.
Motion and a second to provide additional funding for code enforcement. Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Shaw,
Yes.
Kribel,
Yes.
Chrisanti,
Yes.
Candy Davis.
Yes.
Paul Davis.
Yeah.
Burdick.
Motion passes.
Make a motion to approve the contract for tall grass restoration for the pollinator lot on Lord Street in the amount of $1,455, with the cost being out of contingency funds.
I'll second.
Motion and a second to approve the contract with all grass restoration. Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Shaw,
Yes.
Kribel,
Yes.
Chrisanti,
Yes.
Candy Davis.
Yes.
Paul Davis.
Yes.
Burdick.
Yes. Motion passes.
And then I'll make a motion to approve the temporary Class B beer wine license for Hope Heart Doorways, Inc. for the Edgerton Night Market on July 19th.
I'll second.
Motion and a second, temporary class B beer wine license. Any discussions? Hearing none, roll call.
Shaw,
Yes.
Candy Davis.
Yes.
Chrisanti,
Yes.
Kribel,
Yes.
Paul Davis.
Yes.
Burdick.
Yes. Motion
And
passes.
that's everything from finance.
Thank you. Library board,
Library board met on July 9th, short, sweet meeting. We paid some bills and we had the second reading of our revised trustee bylaws.
thank you. Utility commission,
So the commission met last Monday.
yeah, I was here, it didn't seem like anything exciting other than.
No, nothing at all, just, some billing adjustments, so it's just pretty usual. There was a pay request for Miller Pipeline for the 2024 lateral replacement project, but, unless Howard has something that I forgot or he wants to bring up, I can look with him. For sure.
You got it. Okay, thank you. How about parks?
Yep, Parks met on Monday, July 8th. We went out to Racetrack Park. Looked around a little bit and we had the Parks Committee help determine where a new communications board sign was gonna go. I don't know if you guys have seen that. But, it's for non-verbal children. And Gifts for Kids did a wonderful job of coming up with the resources to make that happen. So there was a speech pathologist person that, Gifts for Kids worked with, and then with CNN Printing. And then Howard's team put the base together, and, it's up at the park right now, and Gifts for Kids they're ecstatic about how it looks. It's really, really nice. So, there's gonna be something in the paper, and then I'll talk to staff about maybe putting it on the city of Edgerton's website or the Facebook page, so we can blast that out and give kudos to Gifts for Kids, and Howard's team did a fabulous job. It looks just really, really nice. So we did that. We also talked about possibilities of place to put skateboard park. And we had a representative that was helpful when the original skateboard park came into play at Central Park. And wasn't real happy when that left Central Park, but was at this meeting and seemed very genuinely excited about some possibilities of where we might resurrect a new site for skateboard park. So more to come on that. We're looking at some different things, but looking at possibly out at Racetrack Park. So thought that was a really good meeting with that young man. So that was good. If you guys have noticed, pickleball courts are up and running at Central Park and being used. And just so you know, because I got a picture of a small league that uses them, and they sent me a picture, and I wanted to make sure. Thank you to the Parks Committee, thank you to Howard and his team, and thank you to City Council, because they're being used and they're very, very excited about it, so. And I think that's all. I don't have my notes from the Parks Committee. Oh, one last thing is, Kyle first, of course, he sits on the Parks Committee, but he was with us that night too at Racetrack. And it seemed like for Tobacco Days, as far as that goes, he's all set. He seemed very happy. He was generally very pleased with the tent or that shelter, not shelter, the shaded white tent. He thinks we'll see how that goes, but he seems like everything's in place and is hopeful everything will go without a hitch. So.
For the skateboarding, is there a slab out there, the places you're looking at, or you have to be a
We
slab?
would have to create the slab, which
In any
is,
of the places you looked at, all of them would need one? Or-
yeah, there's no slab
Yeah,
available,
nothing, okay.
correct.
Got a timeline, I mean,
No, we're
We've been
looking at,
talking.
since it could be in the area behind the, those shelters, kind of down the hill. But before the railroad tracks, there's a really nice open area there
where's the
where
disc
there's
golf?
no trees. What?
Where's the disc
In
golf?
between the disc golf and the train tracks.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'm not sure. I know the Parks Committee did put some funds aside for the concrete work, is that correct?
Yes.
Yeah, so we do have some of the funding, and then it was also a matter of, do we need to have it as large as what it was at Central Park? I think Grant was gonna give us some feedback as to how big he thought we needed it, but maybe not quite that big.
He seemed to think that that area would work out really well.
Yeah,
So I've reached out to the railroad and I've reached out to Alliant Energy just to see if anyone has any objections or, any sort of restrictions as to what we're able to do. And, I've heard back from Alliant and they're on board, and, I'm still waiting to hear from the railroad, but.
and it's right there. You could park right there on ITI Drive. It's right there. People driving by would see it. It's very visible for the skateboarders, and we looked at three different areas, and he seemed to think that, as well as the committee thought, that was the best place. Wouldn't have to be interrupted by any of the trees or anything dropping from the trees, wouldn't have to cut down any trees.
Yeah.
It was a good discussion.
Thank you.
That's it.
Thank you. Next item is consider introducing and approving the first reading and waiving the second reading. City of Edgerton ordinance 24-13, and ordinance to amend chapter 296 Parks and Recreation, section 296-2J, chapter 167 alcohol beverages, section 16712, and chapter 265 license and permits, section 2654. Of the Edgerton Code of General Ordinances, City of Edgerton, Rockland, Dane County, Wisconsin.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, Madam
And
Clerk,
waive the second reading.
and waive the second reading.
Yep.
I'll second. That's second.
Motion and a second to approve introducing and approving the first reading, waive the second reading of City of Edgerton ordinance 2413. Any discussion?
I have so of all the things that are going on for tobacco days and everything like that, I can't believe this is going to be a really high priority. Who is going to enforce this?
We will. We have in the past.
You have,
Yeah,
okay.
it's something that it's always been that way,
Right.
correct? It's just that we didn't. get
Manpower
it in there.
permitting, believe it or not, most of the ball teams are halfway decent. They buy their refreshments
They do.
from tobacco days. Yes, they do. It's not until later on in the night, in between the games, that sometimes you'll get a team from outside of here, outside of Edgerton, that will bring their own refreshments. But you know what? They bring them come midnight and they start leaving. We work OWI grants. They're free game. So trust me, they will get stopped and they will get cited.
So this isn't a concern at all?
None whatsoever. Oh, we'll let our law enforcement partners around us we'll let them know about it.
Well, I was just more because I think with everything, all the people in the park and everything going on.
Sure. Like I said, you know what?
It's
We're
on the
not
list of
trying
things
to
that you're
be-
looking for.
No, we're not trying to be heavy-handed.
Right.
It's nice to have this on the books. It was on the books before. Like this, if you get somebody who's belligerent about it, they're still gonna bring it in. We all know the reality of it. We'll tell them, you know what, you can't drink your own stuff. You gotta buy from here, put it away. Okay? They don't listen, here's the ordinance. You're getting cited. So it gives us another tool. That's what it is. So, thank you for asking. I brought my lieutenant here back up, just.
Oh, when you said, here's the ordinance, you're talking about, here's Joe.
Second, whatever he said.
Okay, any other discussion?
Ask a question about the vaping, so this would restrict vaping as well.
When you added the vaping and it's just.
They added the vaping only because the ordinance only stated cigarettes. This has nothing to do with Racetrack Park. That follows this ordinance, but our ordinance was labeled only cigarettes. And the new license says cigarettes, tobacco, and vaping products. And so that's why I added that verbiage, is because I wanted our ordinance to match what the state statute said.
Right, and that came about a couple of years ago. If you guys remember when vaping became more popular. So they added that.
And that is in the ordinance during a gathering where there's tobacco and vaping and all of that. That's in the ordinance that they have to restrict spots for that, so.
Anyone else? Roll call.
Candy Davis?
Yes.
Wait, no pen, just make it. Preble,
Yes.
Grisanti,
Yes.
Shaw,
Yes.
Paul Davis,
Yes.
Riddick,
No. Motion passes 5-1. Payroll and staff reports. Speaking of tobacco days, I think tobacco days is this weekend, so everybody have a good time, behave. I know we're under a lot of water. We're no longer in a drought situation in Wisconsin, so let's hope we can cut back on that, at least for the tobacco days weekend. Kind of looks good right now, so. I have nothing else. Anybody else have anything?
Yeah, Howard, thank you to you and your crew for, I don't know if any of you have gotten calls from any of your constituents, but the drains and the sewer and that, you know, and backup water in their yards or whatever. Howard's been very responsive every time I've had to get in touch with them, indicating somebody called me and, you know, he's all over it. So thank you, and thanks to your group.
You're welcome.
Next item is to go into closed session.
I'll make a motion, we go into closed session pursuant to Wisconsin statute 19.851E, deliberating or negotiating the purchasing of public properties and investing in public funds or conducting other specific public business whenever competitive or bargaining reasons require a closed session. Discuss and consider business park land sale and consider lease agreement for lot number 7 in the business park.
I'll second.
Second, go into closed session. Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Shaw,
Yes.
Andy Davis.
Yes.
Crescenti,
Yes.
Kribel,
Yes.
Paul Davis,
Yes.
Burdick.
Motion passes, we are in full session.